Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Evan Carthy from evancarthy.com. Today, we are going to look at the way I use a stock screener to filter the stocks from what I am looking to do to the ones I'm looking to trade. In the past, specifically, pretty much all the way up into the end of last year, what I was doing was I was basically just trading stocks off of my trade setups, such as Lightning Trade, the bread and butter trade, 127, 143, 161, 38.50, and 61.8. Those are the four trade setups I look for. Primarily, the one I use most right now is the lightning trade, and probably the second one being the 127, 143, 161. But what I noticed was over the past year, year and a half, you can't just do that when trading stocks because fundamentals do play a part in the way it's going. When I would see a stock that was at $70 a year ago and now is at $1.50 and it fit my trade setup for what I was looking to do, because I try to trade from the extremes, I'd get in it, and some of those haven't moved in a while. Like CBL is a good example of it. Windstream Holdings, or Windstream is another one, although that one has potential to skyrocket up, but that's another story. So it gets me in these bad stocks that may not turn around, because when stock goes from like $30 or from 70 to $1 or $30 to $2, there's a reason why, and it's not because the technical analysis of a chart. Is because they aren't making any money, or they had a lawsuit or whatever. It basically signals they're going bankrupt. Obviously, of course, I thought that it wasn't necessary. If stocks fit my trading style or the way my trade setups go, then I can just get in and they'll rebound. Well, that's pretty much not the case, and I've had to learn that the hard way. So what I did is I started researching growth stocks, because I remember back when I used to study more on the fundamentals, mainly reading like the Peter Lynch books and things like that. Those were the ones that had the biggest growth, quote unquote, for movement to the upside. So I did some research, found a couple of different articles that all say the same thing about what to look for in growth stocks. So let me show you, without too much more babbling on, what I use and how I look for my growth stocks, what I'm looking for stocks. Now, I try to make sure they fit all these parameters. Sometimes they may miss out on one if it isn't one that gets populated from it. Like yesterday, I think JD, for instance, when I took that trade, it didn't fit one of the parameters, but everything else it did. And so I went ahead and traded that. But let me show what I'm looking for. So what I use for it is this website called Finviz, Finviz. They do have like a paid service that you can have, where you can have like unlimited filters to use and things like that, but I don't pay for it. I don't use the paid version. I just use a free one that works good enough for me. So what I do is I go up here, click on screener, and then I'll go over here, because you see you have descriptive, you have fundamental. I'll just click on all of them, and then you have technical. Those are just three of the ones that you can choose from. Then you see how the stocks get populated down here based upon whatever parameters you're looking for up here. I go ahead and just choose all of them, because I have a screenshot of what I'm looking for, so it's a lot easier to do. So here's what I'm looking for. So the market cap, I'm looking for a market cap of anything over 300 million, so small, over 300 million. EPS growth past 5 years, I'm looking for positive, over 0%. PE, I'm looking for over 10. EPS growth next 5 years, I'm looking for positive. Sales growth past 5 years, I'm looking for over 20%. For debt to equity, I'm looking for a low debt to equity, so I'm looking for less than 0.1. And I think that was the one on JD that it didn't have, had like 0.3 or something like that. So anyways, so, and then lastly, I'm looking for sales growth quarter over quarter. I'm looking for over 5%. So as you can see, there are a lot of different filters on here that you can choose from. These are the ones based upon a couple of the articles and books I've read that seem to be correlate the best as far as the ones people recommend for growth. I'm sure there are probably some other ones that I'll may add to this in the future, but for right now, it seems it does a pretty good job of filtering them all out. So then, as you can see down here, it lists all these stocks that fit the parameters. So if you do this, depending on what time of the week, you'll get different stocks within these. Then one thing you can also do, which I sometimes do, just depending on what I'm looking to do, you can have a dividend yield go on there, where if you only want to buy stocks that have a dividend, so if you want to hold on to them for a while, you at least get a little interest back in your account for holding on to them. Sometimes I do that. Most times I don't nowadays, because I make more just from when they move in the direction where I'm looking for them to move. And then also what you can have is how much each stock's willing to pay. Or you can do it like less than $15, less than $10, over $15 per share per stock. That really does limit what you can do based upon the price of the stock. But I have done that before, especially I do have a filter where I'm just looking for these growth stocks that are under $10. There aren't too many of them, but when I'm looking to get in with options and things like that right now, based upon my account size, that's what I'm looking for. So we'll go ahead and look through here for these stocks, and I'll show how they fit with what I'm looking for with my setup. So, all right, let's get out of the ES right here. We'll go to another chart. This is Trivago, so I was looking at yesterday. So let's look at the other one. All right, so here we go. First one we look at right here that popped up based upon this is AB. So let's take a gander at that. So here's AB. It looks like I have looked at this before. Has some things on it. All right, so right here we're using the daily chart to look at it right here. Remove that. Let's remove that. So AB, it looked like it might have been a good one to trade in the past, but as of right now, yeah, there's no setup right now there for AB based upon the lightning trade. That would have been a good lightning trade entry right here. Came back down, hit the 38, and then it came back up, and that would have exited us right there at the 100% line. And then over here, let's see if that would have worked out. Yeah, that would have been really good. That would have been a really good one. So you have it come break out right there. It's all the way down there, and then it came up and hit the 50 to take us out right there. Let's see how low it went the other way. About 261. Yeah, hit 261. Came back up. So yeah, that would have been real nice to get into going down the other way. But anyways, nothing over there right now for it. All right, let's look for ABMD. Let's see if that one fits what we're looking to do. And again, all these right here are the growth stocks from the stock screener that I'm using for it. And this is how I go through and just do my system of when I'm looking to trade. So this is when it looks like I have been looking at right now. And there's that bottom pivot. That pivot broke up above, signaled the lightning trade setup. Hit 38, hadn't hit the 100 yet. Now it's just waffling around back through there. So actually right now, you could get into it around 350 if you are into it. If I was in it, my exit I'd be looking for would be just south of the 451s. I'd probably put out like 445, something like that. So that'd be the exit if you're in it right now. I'm not getting in this trade, but if it was lower down here, like if it was around 220, 240, something like that, then yeah, I'd definitely consider it, because then the lowest exit I would have for it, if price went down and hit 186, would be around, well, south of 318, so probably about at least 315, something like that. But as of right now, the exit is going to be just south of 451. So yeah, that's a good setup right now. We'll just look at a couple more here. Just close these out. Nice. Anyways, well, I remember the next one. We'll do one more. It's ALGN. I remember seeing that from there. So this is one that I was actually thinking about getting in the other day. And here's the lower pivot. Here's the upper pivot. Let me move that one over. Here's the upper pivot. There you have a lightning trade breakout. Never came down 38, going up, trying to 127, never hits it, and then just starts this downward decline. See a huge gap down there, right there. And now it's gone hit the opposite Fibonacci extensions. Again, that didn't mean anything. Just I like to put it on there just to see price bouncing off of those, and it is a good entry signal. So right now, ALGN is actually in a real good spot where if you want to get into it, this is one I'm going to consider getting into. I may get into it next week when the market opens because, well, you have this huge gap right here from 248 to 288, and you know how I feel about gaps. I love seeing them, especially if I'm trying to get the stock to go in that direction. So that's good. It is getting close over here for the MFI to hit the oversold. So that doesn't necessarily mean price is going to come, or excuse me, the overbought. So that doesn't necessarily mean price is going to reverse back the other way and go back down south. It's just a good guide that something to be aware for. That price could turn around and go back. You see down here where it hit the oversold level. It still was up right there, hit the oversold, and then it still went all the way back down, even if I was saying oversold. That's why I don't use it to trade off of. Like I said, it's just a guide, something to look for. So, but yeah, so right now, I mean, how I would trade this if I do get in, I'm not saying I'm going to get into it. It is something that fits what I'm looking to do right now. So here's what I'll be looking for, is I would get in with the small entry, my first entry right here, say 227. The exit would be just south of 303, so you can use like 300 is a good round number to use for that, maybe even 299. And then I would have another entry. I guess my second one would be around the 196 level again if price comes back down and hits that again. So say about 200 is a good round number. Like I said, I like using round numbers. Get in again there. Then my next entry after that would be at the 161, so say around $150. And then after that it'd be around $10. But if this move price goes back down to that, then this company has way more issues than that right there. So that's how I'd be looking to do. This is based upon the lightning trade, and also one thing that I guess the major thing that fits into this is this fits the growth stocks category for what I'm looking for, and that's the biggest piece of the puzzle right here. Because like before, if I saw this setup and I hadn't done any research about the fundamentals about the stock or anything, then I would just get into it, which was a huge mistake, because that's how you get these stocks that are say $200 and then there's something horribly wrong with the company. The stock goes down to like $50 and you're like, oh crap, this stinks. But since it fit the parameters of what I presented earlier for the growth stocks, I believe that really puts it in your favor, where if you do get into trades like this, it's eventually going to go back up and go back up in the direction you're looking to go. So yeah, so right now, so ALGN, this is one I will look at next week. Can't guarantee that I'm going to get into it. Got into a couple stocks last week. The JD, Trivago were two of them. I think the one I sold is this gold stock in GD. So anyways, yeah, so that's what I'm looking for right here, and that's my growth stocks. Hopefully that helped out. That's how I look to trade them. All right, thanks. Have a good one, and talk to you later. Bye.